I just made a huge boo-boo. Digital Hi8 camera that takes these tapes, drop it down into the timeline, just see what happens. No. No. What? Full 60 frames a second. This entire time. Okay guys, I can't even. Capturing your childhood memories and or video projects if you're 30, because we're doing videotape. If you care at all about videotape and conversion rates and frame rates, then you're gonna want to stick it out to the end, because I make some startling realizations for me and mistakes, and you get to watch it all. This is how my day went yesterday. Good morning. I am going to convert all of my childhood video to digital, and it's a process that I want to do every day, and I'm struggling with it because I don't do it every day. It's been probably a year or two since I've last done this. Final Cut Pro, my old computer. Where's my camera? I think this is the camera I used to use way back when. Right there, that's Firewire. I don't know that that works anymore. It started going bad back in 2008 or 9. So I have this one that I bought at Goodwill, and I think this one works, but my concern is I don't know if it plays it back properly. See, on Final Cut Pro, when I was recording it in, it was capturing in 60 frames a second, which is amazing. I didn't know that this recorded in 60 frames a second. Maybe it's just how it interpreted its 30i, but it's progressive. The information is progressive in there, so it actually was recording in 60 frames a second. I don't know how or why. Non-controllable device NTSC. So, oh great, there's still a tape in this old Goodwill one. When you do something today, it helps you do it better tomorrow. This is self-organization skills. Alright, these are mini DV. Get closed. Okay, I'm starting to realize that this is just a terrible idea. I mean, some of them won't even open, and some, I don't even know which ones of these I've done and which ones I haven't. Dang it, I broke it trying to get it open. I got this one jammed up. I should have just stuck with the shoe boxes. Okay, this is taking way too long to figure out where I left off, and the fact of the matter is it doesn't have any bearing on my next step, which is recording a tape. So I'm just going to grab one and go. Oh, I found it. This is where I left off. Okay, power cord plugged in. The first time it turned on. Oh, geez. Scroll wheel on the back here. What year is it? It wants to know how long it's been asleep. This is not like my camera where the controls are on top and they're extremely worn out.
You can now go as far as to erase particular memories.
Oh, cool.
Did I say it right? Yeah. Okay.
So this tape isn't missing. Now I need my connection to the computer. Oh my gosh. Okay, I found it. I'm listening to myself directing as a high schooler, and I'm like, man, I'm such an ass. Be polite, would you? Remember 9-pin Firewire? This is, like, back in the day, I thought this was going to be the future. And then it was quickly overtaken by USB 3, which took about 10 years for me to ever see any of that. To this day, I plug a device into my brand new computer, and it still tells me, this device would work faster on USB 3 connection. It's 2021, it's been 10 years, why isn't this a thing yet? Do I have USB 3 or not? Where's the connection for this? Oh, there it is.
Before we go anywhere, I'm gonna stop and get a bite to eat. Okay, that's it.
Alright. View. Refresh AV devices. Alright, we're in business. We're cooking with gas. I want to do a few tests.
Ready? Did I say it right? Yeah.
Huh, it just starts off there, huh? It's weird, this tape has a lot of time-code breaks, so I'm afraid the audio is going to get out of sync. I'm just going to try doing a test. That's just a preview. The only time I'll ever hit the escape button in my life. So I just dropped it. It recorded as 30 frames a second. I dropped it down in here, and I'm playing it back. And it's playing back in 30. Playing back in 30 frames. Okay, so since I know when I got this one to work, it absolutely positively recorded in 60p, I'm going to try to get this one to work. Do I really want to risk this? Hang on a second. I have a tape here that I can test this camera with. Okay, there it is. Oh, I don't like this note. Don't let run to end damaged tape. That's not good. Okay, bless my technology. Oh no. What is this? This is my old apartment? I'm testing this camera back in 2012. And guess what I'm doing in the video? Capturing footage. Okay. Clock set, huh? Well, fine, whatever. I'm just gonna do a quick record. Oh, it says cleaning cassette. I hate it when it does this. There we go. Now it's just recording normally. Make sure that it's smooth. My friend Jake borrowed this for years, and it worked faithfully for him. Okay, good. It's playing back good. There's no grit on the head or anything. It's good. Excellent. I hate that the loading port's on the bottom. I have to keep turning it upside down. Okay, refresh AV devices. Play. Moment of truth. Bless me tech. Oh, that is not... Oh, it's not connecting, that's why. You know, I don't know that this is doing anything. I'm jiggling the cord all around and nothing's coming up on the screen. So, where's that old camera again? I need to do a test. If I plug this guy in, it does not immediately register. So, refresh AV devices. Okay, now it's registering. If I unplug it and plug it back in again, back in operation. So if I unplug it, and I plug it into my old one, and I plug my old one in, hit play, it should. So if this makes a good connection, it should automatically start transmitting. I don't remember how I did this last time. So it's still playing, even though the viewfinder's closed. Back in the day, that used to be a thing. Oh, shnikes. Well, not anymore, it's not, because the power cord unplugged. Stop that. Stop it. Well, it's not working. After countless years of not touching this thing, it seems to have gotten worse. I can't seem to even put it in a position. It used to be like just like that. That was the best position for that to make contact, and it would start to come across on the screen. I don't have time for this. It registers the DV input, so it's registering that. It's not coming through. It's not going out. External video, all frames. Close this. It's not going. Refresh AV devices. Video playback. Apple FireWire Pro. Yeah. The other problem I noticed is that through this camera, it didn't record audio. You know what? I don't know. I have two different Apple FireWires here. That's DVC Pro. This is NTSC. Maybe it's not supposed to be Pro. Ah, okay. I decided to do some stress eating and then have some coffee. These are old cameras from 2001 or 2. I got this one when I was 13. I need this exact model to make sure it transfers how I expected it to. 60 frames a second. This is the Model 240. The Model 280 does not. It does 30 frames a second. And that's not what I want. I want full quality. And then I got on eBay and I found out that there are people selling this exact model. I contacted both of them saying, does the FireWire port work? Somebody got back to me immediately. That's so awesome. If you're an eBay seller, you get back to somebody immediately. No matter what your business is, you get back to somebody immediately, they are going to be just indebted to you. He gets back to me, he says, do you mean the power cord? Yeah, it works fine. Sorry, I mean the DV in out. And I sent him a picture of it. He says, I've never tried this feature before. He's never tried it before. Chances are it's probably not very worn. I'm guessing it's going to be okay, so I decided to buy it. A couple hours later, the other guy gets back to me. He says, I'm not sure, I've never used it, but I can try it out when I get home. I'm out of town right now. I said, sorry, I already found another one. So here was somebody willing to actually test it for me, but he took too long to get back to me. So I ended up already buying one. It was $200. This thing is standard definition from 2002, and it's $200. Why? Doesn't matter, I need it. Some of them are going for like $200, $250, $300, even $500. $500, that's what I got my 4K camera for. And it does all those other features. Thing it doesn't do, it doesn't play back my Digital 8 tapes or my Hi8 tapes, regular analog. This one does both, and it plays it back in 60 frames a second. I think that that's why it's so popular, because it can save people's family videos. The other reason it's popular, after I did a little bit more research, I discovered video gamers are using these. Just like I loaned it to my friend Jake to capture video gameplay, video gamers use this to capture retro video gameplay and then convert it into their computer in a format that the computer will actually recognize. It'll go into an analog television, but when it comes to converting it to a digital signal, it doesn't have enough lines for the digital signal to figure out what's going on. But when you record it into the Digital 8, if you record it into that, it'll output into a regular digital video format. And that's why these things are so expensive. In this day and age, you don't need that. Instead of buying a $200-300 retro camera, you can just get yourself an Elgato and a little converter. I thought about using this to try to put it into my computer for 60 frames a second. I would have to upgrade my software to find out if that's even possible, and I don't know that it would even transmit 60p via that little AV cable. Just use what I know. So, now it's like 1 in the afternoon. I had this dream cool little video that we did using my old footage and interacting with it via green screen. And I woke up and it was a dream. I was like, darn, that would be really cool to do. And I was inspired to capture my old footage and doing some really cool stuff with that, which I'm going to do on my podcast show. And if I get enough viewers here, I'll just tell you about it. But the concept of converting this stuff onto my computer right now is kind of shot in the butt. So what I can do is my old mini DV camera. When these came out, I thought they were a fad, but they totally overtook the Digital 8 format. I'm really bad at predicting how technology is going to go. Okay, camera mode. 4 hours, 5 hours have gone by. Play edit now. I'm going to rewind this tape. Forgot how this works. Whatever. The stuff I'm going to record now on here, it's probably worthless. And, oh gosh, I don't want to look at it. I don't care. That's the whole point. I'm converting everything, so it is what it is. I just made a huge boo-boo. It captures it in 30, but you drop it into a 60-frame timeline, you get 60 frames a second. And I tried dropping it into a 60-frame timeline. Not 60p. It's duplicating every frame 30 times a second. I guess it doesn't work on this camera. I bought another camera just like my original one on eBay, $200, as a last little experiment before I close this and clean up my mess here. I took the original footage. I'm like, well, I don't need this anymore because that didn't work. Do you want to change it to match clip settings? Sure, why not? Fine. Okay, yeah, 30p, 30 frames a second.
Okay.
Not a big deal. Delete it. You know what though? I'm going to change the sequence back to 60 frames a second, roughly. Now I'm going to drop it in here and just see what happens. No, don't change the sequence settings. Leave it in 60. Okay, and I'm going to see the duplicated frames again, right? No. No. It captured full 60 frames a second. And I tested it and it didn't work, but I changed the timeline. It's no longer square, it's NTSC CCIR. I don't know, why does the pixel size change the frame rate? allow it to do 60 frames a second. It's interpolating 60 frames per second, or it's recorded on there. I don't know. But why is it allowing that? Now I just bought a $200 camera, and I didn't need to. It works just fine. And it only works on those Digital 8 cameras, right? It doesn't work on the DVs, because I've tried it before and it comes out 30p instead. Or does it? Okay, so take this footage here, 30 frames a second that I got off this DV, drop it down into the timeline. No, don't change the sequence settings. And this has never worked as a 60. This is never converted to 60 before. But now, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. No duplicated frames. This entire time, every camera I have records in 60 frames a second, and I didn't know it. I can record all of this footage onto my computer in 60p, and I just bought a $200 piece of crap from 2002 because I thought that that was the only model that did it. Because for some reason, I couldn't replicate the findings with any other model until now. For some reason, I must have missed a step somewhere. So now I just lost $200. Whatever. Final thoughts. It's not a total loss that I bought that $200 piece of junk because, like my friend Jake told me, I did need another one anyway. Main thing is, what I said earlier, is that it converts both the analog and digital tapes. Play back my Digital 8 tapes, or my Hi8 tapes, regular analog. This one does both, and it plays it back in 60 frames a second. So that's a good feature. This one, it wasn't working. I don't know about this other one that I bought at Goodwill. At this point, I don't have time to figure that out. I'm moving on. And secondly, it's really nice to have a backup. If something goes wrong with one you have, it's good to have a backup. So that's the benefits. Anyway, this took a gigantic chunk of my time, and I need to get to doing some paperwork. Exciting stuff. So I will talk to you later. This has been Tangentception, and you have a great day, and good luck with your digital video projects.